Coming back, you hope, prick your finger. Stone becomes soil, becomes leaf, becomes bone, crumbles again to dust, to turn, to spin again, the bone spindle of your spine, your pelvic arch and doorway, for the next one, your kin, your kind. Shape the blanket for rain. Don't open the box, but if you must, tell the truth. Look up, the wheel spins around the North Star, you are turning and returning, here, again, always, with your hands touching the ground.
All right.
This one's called Owling. And it's actually, there's an anthology called Jabberwocky that has some, I have stuff in Jabberwocky 3, which is actually another poem I'm going to read, and in Jabberwocky 5, which is this one. Owling. When I made that woman out of clay, laid out on a table, I gave her everything that she might need. Round breasts and round and open mouth, graceful hands, curving hips, a triangle between her legs marked just so. Her feet were pretty and small, her toes pointed. She sat up and started talking. Pour that water of life on me, she said. I need more. I need more than what you gave me. I thought, she is made to carry life. Bear it and bring it out between her legs. Perhaps she is right. I poured more precious drops into her waiting open mouth. More, she cried. She asked why her feet weren't sturdy on the ground like mine. I told her they were prettier. She said, oh. I called her Lily Galatea, but the name slid off her skin. I called her Life, and she asked for more of my water. I began to wish I hadn't made her mouth so wide. Her eyes were yellow and round and did not blink. That was wrong. Her eyes should be soft and melting. She stared when I answered her questions as if she were not impressed. She asked what she was doing here. I said, you are a helpmeet. What is that? It means I do things and you help me. Oh, she said and curled her toes. What happens when I do something? I did not answer. There was no need. I offered her an apron and some pretty shoes. She turned her head away in a fit of pique. I told her not to worry. She would get used to it soon, and then she would be happy. I could see feathers sprouting along her shoulder blades and her toes curling into talons. Put the apron on, quick. I knew once she grew wings it would be too late. She did not listen. Her arms reached forward and her wings spread out behind, white like an owl, while her bird feet clutched the edge of the table. I ran around shutting windows so she would not escape like the last one. But she dove headlong out the door, a cry flying free from her open mouth.
All right. Woo!
At a certain point in my life, I went to a therapist, and he asked me to do an exercise where different parts of myself would talk to another part of myself. And, I quit growing to the therapist, but I got this poem out of it. Here is where the layers separate. 1, Thorn. Thorn wears black armor and carries a sword. She looks tired. She says, that isn't good enough. She says, don't trust anyone. People are wolves. If they see you have anything or are anything, they will find a way to take it. Do not expose your tender heart to the world. The crows will eat it, and you'll have nothing left. Thorn does not remove her armor. What good is having armor if you take it off? Thorn has a name like a briar, like the wall of thorns around the sleeping princess in the story, like heartless Barbara Allen. She says, that's a coincidence. 2, Glinda. Are you a good witch or a bad witch? She shines and sparkles, but she doesn't wear that dress. She has on pants and a short jacket, something more versatile, allowing a little more freedom of movement. Glinda thinks I should start at the beginning. It's always best. Who you are and what you know is important, she says. If you give it away, it can't be lost. If you hide it away, it will be lost. That's the lesson of poetry, she says. Glinda wears glitter like like a belly dancer, like a drag queen, like a witch. It's not a performance, it's just who she is. She gets away with it because to look at her, you'd think people wore glitter all the time. What do you think you're doing here, she asks, if not to tell the story? She waves her hand and her ring sparkles like a wand.
Woo!
Alright, this will be the last poem I will read, and then I will turn it over to Kimberly.
Oh.
This one's called The Woman of Seven Stars Goes Hunting, and it's actually based on the myth of the descent of Inanna, which is about 5,000 years old. And if you know the story, you'll be able to follow it. If you don't, then you should go read it. But it's also a sestina, which means that there are 6 words that end the lines and 7 verses. The woman of 7 stars goes hunting. Do you regret turning your ear to the dark? You who were born the morning star, do you regret it, peacock woman? Did you forget yourself in your descent? Did the gold rub off your skin? Did you consume your warrior's heart? Queen of heaven, they called you, the woman of largest heart. Your heavy scented hair grows dark and curling like vines across your skin. We look up at the falling star, burning even in descent, and say, yes, that is a woman. All lights may be extinguished, even yours, star woman. You surrounded emptiness with your heart, and listening began your descent to the no return, the dusty dark. You came down like a visiting star, like a royal barge, a queen, perfume on your skin. I know you felt it on your naked skin, the disdain of that envious woman. For you, the morning and evening star. Your pride, your arrogance, your willful heart, like hers, the woman whose home is the dark. This is where you come to in your descent. You struggled to rise in rage from your descent, attacked her, and she removed your skin, hung your corpse above her gate in the deep dark. All lights go out here, even yours, sky woman. This is what happens when your heart eats dust and emptiness. You forget you were ever a star. 2 companions come to guide you, only flies, not a star. Small and wily enough to follow your descent without notice, wise enough to weep and turn the heart of your dust-gathering sister and beg from her your skin. Let the water of life turn you back into a woman. Let your woman's feet bring you up from the dark. A heart can be shaped and burning like a star. It can open up the dark and plunge into descent. As I am a woman, this is my return, my holy skin.
All right.